All right, who are the three you think are going to take a step the other way?
Okay, I'm going to give you three names of guys that might surprise you, but I don't think it's not because they're aging or they're about to fall off a cliff. I think it's natural that we shouldn't be surprised if they don't put up the statistics that they previously did. And I'm going to start with superstar 26. He'll turn in October. Defensive end Daniil Hunter, who has had 14 and a half sacks in back-to-back years. So in the last 2 years, a combined 29 sacks. Everson Griffin, we think, is gone now. The other end is not going to, at the rate that they're going, he is not going to, at least initially, get the attention that Griffin got. Griffin got a lot of attention, and as we talked about on Purple Daily now, going back to when Collar was here, there were times when opposing offenses tried to use a tight end on Hunter. That was a mismatch. It was a complete joke. That luxury is now gone, right? So Daniil Hunter is still going to be a very good player, and I think the Vikings would be best served probably if they get creative to where they line him up. But 14 and a half sacks in back-to-back years is incredible. I don't know, because of the attention that's now going to be paid to him in blocking schemes, I think he's going to statistically take a step back. It doesn't mean he becomes a worse player. It just means that it's easier now to spend a lot of time focused on him.
I get your logic. It makes sense. I think he has a 20-sack season in him. I'm not guaranteeing it happens in 2020 for some of the reasons you just mentioned, but I think he's got a 20-burger in there somewhere in his career.
It'd be fun to see.
Like the next 5 years are the prime of his pass rushing career.
20-burger.
Like it's going to happen at some point. Jared Allen, I pulled this up. So his 20-sack season was 2011.
Yeah, that wasn't,
And I was kind of curious. Like Jared Allen spent that entire terrible season for the Vikings literally just hunting sacks. Like it was so funny to watch him, like when, a team, especially that last game against the Bears.
Do you remember the Colts game when he literally chased the quarterback? It wasn't Peyton, right? He chased the quarterback out of bounds at one point. It was like week 3.
Yeah.
And Jared Allen is on the sideline chasing the quarterback.
Well, there's also games where it was very obvious that the opposing offense was running a run play of some kind, a draw play or something. And he had no desire to contain or stay in his run gap. Run gap
Bears
discipline
game at the end of the year.
It was just like Jared Allen was just 10 yards up the field every time trying to get around the end.
Yep.
So in 2011, he had 22 sacks and just set the world on fire. Brian Robinson was the defensive end on the left side that season. And some people, like Brian Robinson, he's not going to be known as a Hall of Fame pass rusher, but Brian Robinson was always getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks and just not getting home as often as Daniil Hunter or Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thought was, well, Jared Allen did it, sacked 20 guys. That was before Everson Griffin was the starting other defensive end. But having Brian Robinson in his prime on the other side, you couldn't ignore him. So your point is taken. It is possible that if they don't bring Everson back or until they find another pass rusher on the other side, I don't know, could Anthony Barr help fill that gap in a creative way defensively?
I told you. I give up. On that one, I give up.
Sense.
It would make a lot of sense, but I give up.
All right, who are
until
the
they
others?
do it. My second guy to take a step back, and again, this does not mean to become a bad player, but it means that they probably overachieved a little bit in this guy's case. Anthony Harris, okay? Mm-hmm. 6
That's
picks,
fair.
which tied for the National Football League lead last season in 14 games. Anthony Harris, I believe, is a very good player. Is Anthony Harris Harrison Smith all the time? Is he a star? That might be a reach. I think he's a good player and an undrafted free agent, so he is a hell of a find. Credit to the Vikings there. But I'm not going to be surprised, especially with the cornerback positions. For all we picked on Rhodes, who was bad, and Trey Waynes, who I think probably got picked on a little bit too much, there was stability with Waynes there that now is going to be gone. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the Vikings defensive coaching tries to make up for those deficiencies and what the ask of Harris is going to be in 2020 compared to 2019. So I'm not going to be surprised if Anthony Harris has what we consider to be a good season, and perhaps solid is the best word, but we don't compare him to Harrison Smith after the season.
Here is the number one thing that doesn't get talked about a ton just because, it's not like a flashy stat. It's just it's a very workmanlike, consistent stat. Of safeties that played at least half of the available snaps last season, Anthony Harris was second in missed tackle rate, in a good way. Anthony Harris only missed 2 tackles in 2019.
God bless him, because
Think
most
about
guys
that.
can't tackle these days.
Like, that is
Good for him.
insane.
Yep.
So, like, is that something that could regress? Like, if that dude misses 5 or 6 tackles in one break, like, are you going to be able to replicate playing almost 1,000 snaps and missing 2 tackles in the 2020 season? So there's like some things that could just naturally come back to earth.
But my guess is no.
But that's a very Antoine Winfield like thing to be great at.
Love Antoine Winfield.
And then do you have another one too?
I got my third one.
Okay.
Guys that I predict are going to take a step back. And this will partially, or not partially, largely tie into the impact of Justin Jefferson and BC Johnson. And he's not coming off a great year because he missed 6 games due to the hamstring problem. Adam Thielen, okay? He played 10 games, but we are now going to find out day one when the season does start. There is no question that we've gone from the days of Thielen being 1B probably and Diggs 1A to now every bit of focus until guys like Sharp or Jefferson or BC Johnson establish themselves.
Yeah.
Every bit of focus from opposing defenses is going to be on him. And that's going to be a big ask. And since he got here and Diggs had started to emerge, and then Thielen emerged, I believe, behind Stephon Diggs, Phil, we have not really seen Adam Thielen as a solo act. And I think we're going to find out that is it's not that he becomes a incompetent bad player, but if he's focused on specifically, unless a guy like BC Johnson or Jefferson or Sharp, which I sort of doubt, emerge as really good players. And I don't think it's fair to ask any of those 3 in this coming season to be Stephon Diggs. I'm not going to be surprised if they frustrate Thielen and basically force Cousins to look elsewhere a lot.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm not even faulting him. I just think it's the circumstances.
I do think, though, Dalvin Cook is going to – it's not like you can just focus all your attention on Adam Thielen. Like, you have to focus some attention on Dalvin Cook. Ideally, teams are going to have to focus some attention on Justin Jefferson. And I think the Vikings should make teams focus attention on Irv Smith, because I don't think that if that dude understands the playbook and route running, I don't think you're just going to be able to cover him with a linebacker. And I think
they will. That's fair.
Do they have enough weapons that can still free up Adam Thielen? And it'll be an interesting task without Stephon Diggs. I mean, statistically, Adam Thielen put up the better numbers in a couple of those seasons, but I think Stephon Diggs was the more dangerous, feared wide receiver.
He scared you more.
And so we'll find out. But Thielen is so good at route running, and he's so athletic and quick. I think he's going to be able to find ways to get open on those 3rd and 8s. And like, he's a rich man's Julian Edelman, if I can make a white receiver comparison.
That's
like,
stereotypical.
He's more athletic. Right, he's better down the field. And I think he can also just be just as good as a safety blanket.
But he can't grow that beard, so keep that in mind.
He probably could. He's grown a beard a couple times.
Bushy beard.
He's got more of a pointed face than Julian Edelman.
Julian's got those nice whiskers going when he gets that beard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my 3 step forwards and 3 step backwards.
There it is. That's a wrap on this episode of Purple Daily. You can help the show a lot as we continue to push Score North forward during these tough times by giving it a positive review, a 5-star rating on Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts, and by clicking the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScoreNorth.